Good evening and welcome to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. My name is Donna Gray Banks and I am your host. And my special guest this evening is a Fresh Book Festival featured author, Ms. Sunshine Swinson, author of My Fit is Beautiful. Welcome, Sunshine, to Zoom In on a Fresh
Hello,
Conversation.
hello, everybody.
So, Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation is brought to you by Eyeless Diamonds LLC, Lee's Press, Milton McCulloch, author of Love and Emancipation, a Dante production, and of course, the Fresh Book Festival, which will be held in the beautiful city of Daytona Beach 22, 23, 24 February in the year of 2024. If you have any questions for Sunshine, please leave them in the chat room. And this conversation is being recorded. Hi, my friend.
Hey, beautiful.
I interviewed you in 2020.
Wow. I need to go back and look at that
2020.
video.
That's how long it's been, right?
Yes.
And so I just want you to give the audience a brief, background about who you are.
Well, my name is Sunshine. I am a author. I'm an entrepreneur. I own several businesses, mainly in the hospitality industry. I have two restaurants and a private club. Well, one is technically a bar, but by Virginia standards, is a restaurant. I'm a mother. I'm a
Of a
business coach.
two very successful children, I might add. And a son
Yes,
who
my
just
son and daughter.
finished, we just finished something important. What was it?
Yeah, my son is in merchant seaman school, and he just passed one of the hardest tests that. Oh my God, we prayed on that thing because he didn't think he was gonna make it. So if you fail a test twice, they send you home, and he failed it once. So he doubled down and stayed up all night, and he passed this morning. So I had to give him some love today on social
Oh,
media.
absolutely. First of all, that is not, and I'm not meaning to sound anywhere racist, but that is not a melanated man's field,
It is
right?
not. It
It
is not.
really is not. But the financial rewards, if he passes that thing, gets through it, is amazing,
Yes.
right?
Yes. His first month, first 2 months that he's going out, he is estimated to make about $14,000 to $15,000. And as a 21-year-old, that is amazing for me because he gets out of mama pockets.
Right.
So, I'm cheering that on.
First and foremost.
Get away from mama. But
But no,
yeah,
what a reward for you,
it is. It's
for
definitely
both of
my,
your
my greatest
children.
accomplishment.
Hmm. Children are a great
They
accomplishment.
are.
I think,
I think so too.
from the beginning to the end,
Ooh,
so
yes, I don't think it ever ends, but
no, right?
I
No,
still call
mine's
my mama.
36. They still kind of hang around for a while. So let's talk about you being a serial entrepreneur, and which includes becoming an author and being a Greek member of Delta Sigma Theta. Does that all does all that vibe together? I mean, how does that all work?
It does. For one, my background is in budgeting, finance, and local government management. I know we talked about the last time you interviewed me, and I got updates for you what happened back then. So
Okay.
if you ever read my book, it starts off with a great explosion of me becoming the front runner to become deputy city manager. So that was my background, as far as local government management. So when I transferred over to entrepreneurship, it was not my plan. It was his. The saying they say, "Tell God what you want, and he'll
And then
make you laugh."
laugh at you, right?
So my goal was to do something totally different. But through my trials and tribulations of weight loss and weight gain and depression and self-esteem issues, it led me into entrepreneurship with my first business, which was called Fit Bar. It was a juice bar with focus on group fitness and eliminating the issues of childhood obesity. So being a Delta definitely helped push that into the forefront because you automatically come with a network of individuals that are going to support you regardless of whatever your business is. They're just coming. So that gave me the confidence and the initial push that I needed to be successful as an entrepreneur. But of course, it does not come without hard work and dedication and consistency and all those great things. And I'm proud to say that since 2017, I have been a full time entrepreneur. brick and mortar locations that I own the land. I own the rights to all of my businesses. And, I have a great team, a great staff. I'm at work right now. Yeah, so it's definitely something that gave me a push being a Delta and going into entrepreneurship. So I'm definitely grateful for my foundation in Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Absolutely. So tell us about, you have several degrees.
Yes,
Okay, so I want people to understand that, you got to do the work.
you
So,
do.
yeah, tell us about the degrees that you have.
So I started off with a bachelor's in public administration. My initial goal was to go to law school. Um,
Really? Okay.
yeah, and you know what? I retired December 31st from the club life that I am in. So I may just go to law school. We'll see what God has for me. But I started off with public administration with a concentration in accounting and pre-law. So once, I got married, that ain't work out. I
Right.
ended up going off to get my master's in criminal justice and a double master's when I started my PhD program in public administration. That's how I got my second master's. So that's how I ended up with 4 degrees.
Oh my goodness. And so your book serves as a guide for those looking to crack the code on achieving self-confidence and self-love. Could you expound on that and why you decided to do the book itself?
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier going through a very, I'm going to say graphic because I try to stay positive in this time in my life. I'm all positive. A very graphic and colorful divorce. But before we got to the divorce part, I was a woman that didn't want to feel at anything. So I stayed in a situation longer than I was supposed to. And not only did it break me down from a mental standpoint, but physically as well. And as a young woman who dealt with childhood obesity issues, it was just a disaster just waiting to happen. Your self esteem is going down. So the first thing we do is
Yeah.
we harbor with food and things that feel comfort. We don't want to go out. So you spend most of your time home and eating and doing all of those things. So once I realized that the recipe was not meant for success and I had to kind of change up the ingredients, once I stepped out and I did the work, I felt that there would be other women just like me who needed to know how I did the work. So I went on a path and I said, you know what, let me write this book. And that's how my Fit is Beautiful became what it is today.
Now, is your weight issues, are they hereditary?
Yes, they are. I
Okay.
come from a
Okay.
big family, as they call in our
Okay.
community. We big bone. Uh, my mom is big. My auntie is big. We come with hips, thighs, and a whole lot of sass to go with it. So, yeah, it is. So you have to work overtime when it's a part of your genes and who you are. You got to go the extra mile to keep it off. So I didn't recognize that earlier. It was just like, oh, you can eat whatever you want, but no, actually, you can't. You
Right,
cannot eat
exactly.
whatever you want.
And it works on both sides, right? Because I
Yes.
come from a family who all the women are small except for me, because I took after my father's side of the family. So you have that other issue where you're looking at people around you thinking, why is she a size 12 and I'm a
Mm-hmm.
14, right?
Exactly.
So it can work, it can work on both sides. When you speak about childhood trauma and feelings of abandonment, do you believe that those things were the catalyst into you having weight issues, the abandonment and the trauma? Did that have anything to do with, you know,
Absolutely. I do feel, and most of my abandonment issues came from my father not being there. My mom was dynamic. She did what she had to do, and I think I am. I don't think I know my strength comes from watching her just make it happen without excuses. But no child, especially girls, that father figure is so important, and it
oh,
gives you the comfort and the confidence that I can't even describe because I didn't have it. I had to find it on my own. So I am of the opinion, I am definitely confident that if I would have had that, then I wouldn't have sought the same comfort that food and snacks and, things that weren't good for my body gave me. Just to have my dad say, good job, baby girl, probably would have, pushed me a little bit further. But unfortunately, I didn't have that. And, that's just a part of, unfortunately, a part of some cultures that we have around here. And I just believe that if I would have had that, I wouldn't have found comfort in, you know, just eating and staying to myself.
Do you believe that if you had a father figure, the man you chose or who chose you would have been different in your marriage?
Listen to me, honey. Whoa! I married my father. I married an alcoholic. I
Really?
married someone that wasn't consistent. I remember as a kid growing up, my dad used to get paid on Fridays. And he used to go to, I used to wake up really early, about 6 o'clock in the morning. We used to walk to McDonald's and he used to get coffee. He used to slide me $20 and say, "Baby girl, I'll see you when I get home from school. When you get home from school." And I used to walk across the street with my little $20 bill. I used to get all the cookies and stuff I wanted in lunch. But he would never come home until Sunday night. And we had a payphone right by my window. And my dad used to cry at the payphone. He used to call my personal line that I had in my room. And he used to cry and say, "Baby girl, open the door for me." And every single Sunday, I used to sneak my dad in, and he used to sleep on my floor, um, just so he can get in the house because my mom wasn't having it. But I ended up marrying that a guy that abandoned me most each weekends when he got
Oh
paid.
my
Um,
goodness. Yeah.
he was also a merchant seaman. He's great now, so no drama now. But
Right.
back then we were both young, and I married what I had been traumatized by. So yeah, I do believe that it repeats itself. And that's exactly who I married. And I didn't dated a whole bunch of alcoholics in my day. Jesus.
When did you decide, or if weight is always a struggle for women, right? So when did you decide that maintaining a healthy lifestyle at any size was something you could do? What was it? Was there a pivotal moment when you said, "Sunshine, stop
Okay, so it's kind of twofold.
it"? Okay.
When I realized that the healthy lifestyle was essential was kind of when the pandemic hit, where you had no outlets. But when I realized that it was at any size, is when I sought mental counseling and mental health. So I don't know if I told you this story the last time, but look, I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you what happened.
Okay.
So I was in a relationship and I decided to pop up one day and go to my significant other's house. And he was there with someone else. And yeah, so I kind of did some things I'm not proud of, but I was
That's all
pissed.
right.
So I like
You
hit him
didn't
with the
do a
car.
left eye on him, did you?
Yeah, I kind of hit him with the car and stuff, right? So I ended up finding a trip. My friend was like, she was going on a spiritual vacation to Puerto Rico. It was like a spiritual cleanse. So I said, I gotta go because I think I'm about to go to jail. So I ended up going to the spiritual cleanse, and that's when I found myself. I found myself knowing that size does not matter. Obesity is a something that we use as an excuse to not love ourselves. My childhood is another excuse. Until we take ownership of who we are and where we're trying to go, everything that around us as variables we'll use as an excuse. But ultimately, doing the work and getting the mental help that I needed to get past my abandonment issues, to acknowledge that my childhood was just what it is. But I have to move past it as an adult. I have the responsibility and the duty to do the work to become whole. I let go of those excuses of, well, my family big, or my daddy wasn't there, or whatever excuse that gave me the right that I felt in my head to continue to overeat or continue to not do the work or not love myself. Once I went to Puerto Rico and I kind of refreshed and renewed, I became a woman that was unstoppable from that point. And regardless of if I'm 250 pounds or I get down to 180, I'm still going to love and live and just allow life to be what it is. And that's what I want to promote with this book, that regardless of your shape, your size, or whatever your circumstances are, just keep going.
So tell us how many weight loss programs you've tried.
Are we starting now or I've tried it all from keto to the thiamine pills and starving myself, juice diets. I've done it all. I've done it all. I really have. But one thing that I have realized that none of them will not work until you do the work internally. Weight loss is not about us. It is, I mean, certain techniques do help, but it's going to be a routine of complete up and down, back and forth. I'm on a diet, I'm off a diet. And to me, that's a miserable way to live. Until you accept who you are, do the internal work, you'll continuously bounce from diet to diet to diet to diet. When you see what the real issues are inside and you deal with them, listen, I wouldn't care if somebody came and said, hey, try this, you're gonna lose 20 pounds. If I don't feel like it, I just don't. I love myself. I love myself 100%, regardless of what my shape or my size looks like.
Now that you're here, are you still in counseling? And how long were you in counseling?
Yes, I do see a counselor monthly. Being an entrepreneur, I definitely encourage all entrepreneurs to stay or have some access to some form of counseling. Um, Entrepreneurship is the closest thing to insanity that I think anyone would know actually reach. You got to be crazy enough and believe in yourself and borderline narcissistic to say, I'm gonna get up every single day and you all are gonna love what I do. And it's a requirement that you go after whatever I'm doing. So
Right.
yeah, that's definitely, leading a team of over 20 people with between four different businesses, with customers that expand. And I actually run a multi-million-dollar enterprise. You have to have somebody you can confide in and can help you bounce things off, or sometimes just vent. Or you'll find yourself in dark corners with a bottle of tequila, and I've been there. So when I went through my process of loving myself and coming full circle with the woman that God sent me to be, stayed in counseling about 3 years, consistently every week for about 3 years. The best investment I've ever made, and of course, the spiritual journey on Puerto Rico was kind of like the top of that mountain for me, where I finally could say, "Hey, you got it, girl. You got it."
We saw you at an event where you had a very anxious moment. What was that about?
What event was that?
I don't know. You were there just the other night,
Just the other
and you
night.
and you said you had to leave.
Okay, yeah. So I am very in tune with myself. So I went to it was an R&B kind of block party, they call it, with Jermaine Dupri. He was the featured speaker. I actually saw him. We was in first class together. He ignored me. Yeah, Jermaine Dupri, don't be ignoring me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was there, and my spirit said it was time to leave.
Okay.
I do not question my intuition. When it tugs at me, I listen, and I truly feel, people always say, how do you hear God's voice? I truly feel that a portion of that comes from my intuition. And I was just sitting. At first, I was like, "Oh, no, sunshine, just have a good time. You haven't seen who you flew in for this." But when it hit me for the second time, I said, "It's time to go." I didn't spend all these money on these tickets. It was time to go. So I went home, and it was time to go.
See, I'm a very spiritual person, so I really believe in, if my hair stands up on the back of my neck, or something just doesn't feel right, it's
Yeah,
time to leave.
time to go.
Did you feel that when you were on your way to your friend's house with the female you found? Did you kind of know?
Honestly, I did. And
Uh,
it was so much going on, because I run a private club that sometimes we go to 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was exhausted, and it was just a really, really tough night. My clientele was just on 100, as we like
yeah,
to say.
on 10 all night.
Yeah, so I just needed some type of comfort. But as I approached, it just felt a little uneasy, and I attribute it to, because I wasn't in tune with myself at the time, that I'm just popping up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's not something that you do. Well, I was wrong. I was wrong. But ever since, the Puerto Rico trip, like, I got in tune with myself, and I know when that second voice hits you, as people like to say, that third eye, you take
Yeah,
account and you
yeah,
listen.
yeah. So since this is all about being an author, we could talk about your
Yeah.
personal life all night. I mean, we can
Listen,
because,
I'm
you
an
know,
open book. As you see on social media, I am a open book.
yeah. And so I want you to talk about how difficult it was or how not difficult it was for you to do your first book. I know you've worked on another one and you're working on another one, right?
Mhm.
So since this was many years ago, what was that struggle like? And number one question, what was the struggle for getting your book published? Two, who decided on the cover? I mean, I love the cover, but whose decision was that? So one, what was the struggle, if there was a struggle?
Mhm.
And two, how did you decide on your cover?
So, as far as deciding to write the book, it had been on my heart for some time. A great friend of mine, her name is Tamaya Davis. She wrote a book from
Hey,
Theta to
Tamaya.
Tears, and I was just so inspired by her courage to put herself out there and really, really tell her story. Everyone sees the fierce Tamaya, but they
Right.
don't know the fatal portion that she had to go through to get to that point. So I've been holding on to this outline for so long. So I reached out to Tamaya and said, friend, call a friend. Friend, this is what I want to do. And Tamaya was like, friend, when you gonna find the time? Literally, when are you gonna find the time? And I was like, I don't know. So she connected me with Angela, and I went the ghostwriter portion, and that was such a seamless process. So the great portion of dealing with Angela or any, well, I can't say any ghostwriter, dealing with her as a ghostwriter is you literally pick your titles and you outline your book and you send her the outline. And then each portion, you speak what you want each portion to be, and she transcribes what you are actually putting in that chapter. And then from that portion, she sends you the markup. You read through, you add, you send back, and she edits it. It was the most
Seamless.
seamless process for me because someone that runs multiple businesses, multiple businesses with a heavy, heavy load, there was no way I could sit down in a chair and do this all day. But when I ended the process, I felt not only was it actually 100% my work, I felt that she added an extra layer of confidence to me as I was writing because she's like, "Oh, this is good. Expand on this a little bit more." And I'm like, "Okay, I didn't think that part was that good. Okay, well, that's what happened." And literally, I would record myself, working with my headphones in, talking through the chapters, and she would transcribe, and it was the most amazing thing. So, anyone that is busy but has a desire, don't be intimidated by a ghostwriter. That does not make you less of an author than someone who sat there and did it. If anything, I feel that it gives you, you know, a little more of a hands up because regardless of what was going on, you still took the next step to get it done.
Right.
As far as the cover, that was Tamaya. I did not want myself on the cover because I'm like, okay, I don't want nobody to see I'm like a thick big girl. I wanted something more graphic. I had a black and white striped cover with just my fit is beautiful up there. And somebody was like, friend, you are putting you on the cover because you are 100% what you define in this book. And
Right.
people need to see and know who you are. So that was her. I can't take credit for that. And then we have what we have.
Well, I think it was a great cover, first of all,
Thank you.
because it shows that you were actually the person. It's one thing to say my fit is beautiful, right? And you get on and you're, 125 and
Girl,
you wear, you know what I mean? So really,
over 200 over here,
right,
baby.
it takes away the credibility of what you're trying to write a little bit. And when you decided to put yourself on the cover, what did it feel like when the book came?
If I can be very transparent, I was nervous. I was nervous because I didn't know how I was going to be perceived. The first chapter in the book explodes with something extremely intimate, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty. So now I'm wondering, hey, are people going to see the cover and then relate me to what's going on? I'm like, oh my God. I was freaking out. I was really freaking out. And then, to say my fit is beautiful, the whole concept before you read it puts you in the mindset of that I'm this, a size 2, 3, and I'm pushing this image. So it was definitely a very vulnerable moment for me, um, to put myself out in a space and to be so open with what I was going through at the time of writing the book. It was real life, off the press type of drama that was going on. So I cannot say that I was confident about it, because I was not. But I'm happy that I did, because I think the image and the message that I put in embodies what I was trying to put across. Regardless of what's going on, I'm me. You're going to have to love it.
So tell us about book two.
So, book two, it's kind of a combination. So I've really been into the ebook type of thing lately, because I've learned that my audience of women are individuals who we lack self-esteem in the beginning. And I think my Fit is Beautiful allows individuals to do the work. So once you have done the work, now what? What are we doing next? So you prepared me, now which way I'm going to go. So I have a couple ebooks that's out. One is the fun one, which is the bartending ebook, which is teaches individuals how to, master the art of bartending and, put an extra coin in your pocket. I have two others, a business one, structuring your business for success, which allows individuals that who want to come into the entrepreneur journey, that before you even decide of what product you're going to sell or where you're going to sell it at, you have to be structured correctly in order to take advantage of tax codes and take advantage of different grants and business credit cards and all those type of things out there. And then the last one is going to be, it's already done. I'll be releasing them simultaneously, which is about getting your credit together. Unmasking is what it's called.
All that crap.
Yeah, we have to unmask, because I've learned, being in this industry, we'll walk around and we'll have on Gucci and all the diamonds and pearls, and we got a 500 credit score. We're going to stop that. We're
Right.
going to stop that, and we're going to unmask, and we're going to do the work. So I take people on the journey of me personally rebuilding my credit, and how I went and have all of my scores in the 800s, and how I did the work within less than 12 months. So that's what the third ebook is about. And then ultimately, I will double back and focus on doing a sequel to My Fit is Beautiful.
And what does that look like?
To me, it's going to see how I am whole. Once you have done the work and you come to a place of wholeness, how do you maintain that? How do you stay there? I have a platform that I'm blessed to have. Um, Sometimes as goofy as I am and as transparent as I am, I'm like, God, why you got these people listening to me? Because I literally would be on a live and take my wig off. It's like, y'all, we need to get this together. But I want to teach individuals that there's no such thing as a bad day. There's no such thing as a bad day. Regardless of what happens, yes, things are going to happen. But the mere fact that I woke up and I am breathing, there is no such thing as a bad day. So I want to show how I'm able to navigate through all the channels that I deal with on a daily basis. I mean, it is terrible, but the smile will remain.
Here's what I like. The fact that you can purely, mess it up and apologize so well for that.
Yeah.
Right. Now, a lot of people cannot do that. How did you get to the point where you know that you messed it up,
Yeah.
but I can apologize for it? A lot of people will mess it up and say, hey, okay, well.
Oh no, as someone who, lost the greatest, and I didn't lose it completely, but that'll be in the next book. But my dream was to become a city manager. And if you read the first chapter of my book, it starts off with a news reporter calling me and say, "Hey, Sunshine, congratulations, you're the top runner to be city manager. How do you feel?" Of my hometown, it's like, what do you mean how I feel? But to have that second question follow up and say, hey, you also found out that you are being charged with welfare fraud. Who that's for? The most people look at it as an embarrassing moment in their life. But I knew, what it really was. And I knew this was my moment to not only show that who I am, but who I was. and I was a product and a child of God, and nothing can overcome that. So knowing that I have free will in this life, and I'm gonna always make mistakes, the goal is not to stay there. The goal is to acknowledge and move on. You can't use anything against me that I fully acknowledge and accept in myself. So that's kind of how I live. I'm not perfect. We're going to make hiccups along the way, but the true thing is to own it. You have to own it. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on. I don't live there no more. I don't. But it worked out. I ended up becoming the deputy city manager of my city, but we know what happened with that too.
So my favorite saying is, God can't heal what you won't reveal.
That is true.
You know what I mean? Because if you don't reveal it, somebody will find it.
They will, and they'll use it against you.
And they'll try to use it against you. Mm-hmm. But if if it's already out there, all they can do is try to make it stinkier, which, okay, but, make it what you want. But I've already put it out there for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, as an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, that's what we're going to call you.
Woo!
Serial entrepreneur. How do you get to yes?
How do I get to yes? Acknowledging that's the only way to go.
Now, so I mean, yes, when you're told no, I don't see you getting told no and not getting to yes. Whether you have to go around somebody or over somebody or through somebody, I believe that you get your yes. How do you get your yes?
I always get my yes. And I always get my yes because no doesn't exist. Right. So literally, when someone says no, I don't.
That's a next opportunity. That's the way I look at it. No is next opportunity, right?
Yeah, I really don't hear it, because before I venture off into any space, I am very diligent of learning the craft first or doing the work first. So if you tell me no, I've already had a counter to that to say, yeah, but but like the place that I'm in now, this is called Truth Restaurant and Lounge. It took me 18 months to build this place out. I bought the building right before the pandemic came in, and the governor shut us down completely. We really couldn't get any work done, and they essentially told me that it's not going to happen. Oh, okay. We're definitely sitting in a state-of-the-art kitchen with a business that is flourishing. So I always say, when you hear the word no, that just means to me that you were kind of ill-prepared. Go back and do the work. Do research and see how you can make that no a yes, or what corner you need to hit to make that no a yes. No's are only catalysts to individuals who accept no's, that they really didn't want it. If you want it, a no doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's just not now. Or maybe
I always say it's a next opportunity. That's what no means to me. No means next opportunity. So I just have to find a way to get to the yes, right?
That's it.
I know you've got to go to work, so I am not going to hold you any longer. I want everybody to know that Sunshine will be here in the state of Florida in February for the book festival. I'm so excited for her to be here. Angela will be here, and so your ghostwriter will be here with you.
She's up here?
Yeah, she's going to be there.
That's
and
beautiful.
you guys are going
to. Did I do good?
Yes, you did good, and you're going to do a workshop together. We're going to try to put that all together in the next month or so. So I just need you to tell everybody how to get copies of all of your books really quickly.
So you can get a copy of my book at my website. Is www.sunshineswinson.com. Sunshine is just sunshine, just like sun in the sky.
Is that your real name?
It is Sunshine Monique Swinson.
Yeah, okay.
All me. And Swinson is SWINSON. And I offer everyone to come and follow me on social media. Sunshine Swinson on Facebook. And on Instagram, you can also find me at Sunshine Swinson, but I am still self-made. And it's STILL, self spelled out SELF, but made is M, the number 8 and D. I promise you, follow me on social media will make your day. I know you are. It's so funny.
I log on and say, wonder what Sunshine's doing. Let me give her 5 minutes before I
I
do
tell
something.
it all. I show it all. And I do that only because you'll be surprised the 100 plus women per day, and this is
Mhm.
not exaggerated whatsoever, tell me that my stories get them through their tough times. And if I'm having a bad day, I show it, but I tell people how I'm going to get through it, and it's such a motivation to a lot of women. I just did it just to be funny.
Right.
But it's starting to be something that has taken a life of its own, and so many women depend on it, and I'm actually thankful for that platform. Like I said, I don't know why God gave it to me, so I could be a mess sometimes, but I
Listen,
am
it's
grateful for what it's
hard to
doing.
find somebody who's willing, first of all, to take the wig off, take your eyelashes off,
And every time real quick.
and just unmask,
Yeah.
the one person to the real person, or the same person, just a different look,
Yeah.
right? A different view, a different
Absolutely.
lens for you to look at for that person,
Uh-huh.
right? Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to say before you go that baby shower you threw for that young man, because your schedule didn't let that happen for you, was wonderful. I thought that
Oh,
was just, yeah, because,
that was the one he just washed his hands
oh,
when he
really?
came.
Yes. So
Yeah.
tell him we all appreciated his baby shower.
He was mad.
And
I didn't know he was that
he
mad.
was 38 hot, honey.
But that goes with the saying of, you're not
Yeah,
perfect in life, but if you acknowledge
yeah,
it,
right,
you have a greater opportunity to fix it and make things right. I value people,
right.
especially anybody who gives me their time to help support my dreams and my vision. So he's my family, but he's also my employee. And I was heartbroken that I decided to go out and act a fool opposed to being in his baby show. But he's happy now. He's happy
Yeah,
now.
you made up for it by, leaps and bounds. You made up for it. So I'm not going to keep you. It is 8:51. Tell us, give us a pearl of wisdom before we leave.
Life is going to always throw things at you. It's not our job to kind of decipher what's fair and not what's not. Our job is to continue to live.
Yeah.
Our job is to continue to smile and know that our greatest gift is actually being here. Stand on that. Let life do what it do. But if you believe and you continue to stay focused on what God's vision is, it's gonna
Mm,
come to pass. A smile makes it all the better,
all the
especially
better.
when you got haters. Keep
Yeah,
smiling.
yeah. Especially when you got haters. Sunshine, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I know that you are very, very, very busy, and I appreciate that. I can't wait to meet you in person in a couple of months.
We
And
gonna have a
so
ball.
I know it's going to be so much fun. So, and the weather's supposed to, well, I looked at the long range forecast. We should be able to get to the beach at least while you're here.
I'm
So,
coming to act up there, so
yeah,
y'all get ready
yeah.
to laugh, cry, and just have a great time
Great
because
time,
I'm coming
right?
authentically as myself.
Thank you so much. And
Thank
so
you.
when the lights go out and the cell phone towers go down, all you have left is a flashlight and a good book. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Sunshine. Good night.
That's Dion right there.
Hey,
Thank you.
Dion.
Good
Baby shower.
night.
It's on your baby shower.
Thank you, baby. Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk soon.
See ya.
Good night.